Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Nusfjord. In the game of Nusfjord, each of the players is the owner of a fishing company in Nusfjord, Norway. A major part of this game is understanding how to give honour, I guess, to the elders and to other players. It is based around these things called shares. You can have shares in anyone else's company or your own. At the beginning of the game, we start by taking the number of fish or catching the number of fish as marked by this spot or whatever is uncovered. Obviously, if you have a ship, it covers up parts of that board, and so you will gain more fish from having that ship. And there are different size ships that will cover up different amounts of that board. I'll get into that a little bit more later. So the very first thing that happens is the fishing phase, at which you will take your 3 fish and you will give a fish to each elder that you have. You don't have any elders to start with. These are the elder cards. I'll talk about getting them in a moment. But for every elder you have, you'd give them a fish. Then you would put a fish onto each share that is with a foreign party. So if I don't have this share, it's either going to be over with this player or sitting up on the board untaken. If that is the case, we put 1 on that share and 1 on that share. Once all of the other people have been paid their fish, you get to put fish onto your own share, or shares if you have multiples, and then anything that you have left over will go into the reserve. Notice there is an 8 fish maximum in the reserve, so if you put down more fish than your reserve can hold, the rest of them will just go back into the sea or the pile of fish. Once that's all happened, all fish that are in this area will come into your personal supply, and they are yours to be able to use. Anything in the personal supply is able to be used by you. Anything in the reserve is not able to be used by you yet. Any fish that happen to have been put up in the main available shares area will go back into the fish supply. Once that's happened, we in turn order. So this is saying the player on the left is the first player, the player on the right will be second, and keep swapping between the two. In player order, each player will put down one of their workers onto one of the spaces. The top left corner of each space tells you how many workers can be on each space. If you're playing a larger player count game, there will also be this board that will allow you to copy an action or do an action that's already filled up. So that's for the 4 player, there's one of them that allows you to copy any of those actions. In a 5 player game, there's this one which will place there and allows you, there are 3 spots, but allows you to copy what's happened in the column above you, the column above you, column above you. So this is a basic worker placement game. Let's run through what each spot does. Running from the left to the right, straight down the column. First one gives you 1 money. The next one down, transfer your reserve, allows you to take anything from your reserve, no matter what it is, it's mostly going to be fish, and move it across to your personal supply. The next one down, serve fish. This is where you're going to lay out fish from your personal supply into the banquet. You'll notice there are little numbers that get gradually increasingly higher as you go further along the board. So it will cost you 1 fish to fill up this plate, 2 fish to fill up that plate, 3 fish to fill up that plate, etc. The first plate in a 2-player game starts full, so it's going to cost me 2 fish to play into that banquet. One of them goes on there to show that I have filled that plate, the other one just goes back to the supply. And for my efforts of doing that, I will get 1 gold per plate that I have filled. The next 2 spots are building a building. Buildings are these cards, and they will go onto your board in the open spaces. There are more spaces covered by forests at the moment. I'll talk about forests in a second. The beauty with this game is that all points are obvious. So if there's a little golden star, it's talking about some points. In this case, while these spaces are open, they're worth -1 point at the end of the game, so you really need to cover them up. Building is talking about these cards on this side. When you build a card on this side, you're paying the resource cost. So in this case, this one will cost you 2 fish. If I were to purchase this building, I would get 3 points at the end of the game. And what this card would do would be when I pay gold for shares, I basically get to keep the gold in my supply rather than spending the gold to the bank. That brings up the question of shares. This space allows you to take one of your shares that is on the unused side, an unused share, which is negative points at the end of the game if it's still unused and in your stock. You flip it over to the side where it says shares, and any shares that you own are worth 1 point at the end of the game, and you place it here. For the privilege of doing so, you will get 2 gold. The next spot down is where you'll actually purchase those shares. So any player can purchase any player who chooses this space will purchase all the shares that happen to be in there. So if that's been left for a while, that might have built up with a few shares from different players. And at the start of the game, that will cost 1 gold per share. So at the moment, with 3 shares up there, that will cost 3 gold. But if you're on the 4th or 5th turn, you get a 1 gold discount. If you're on the 6th or 7th, and the 7th turn being the last, you'll get a 2 gold discount to purchase those shares. So when you purchase them, you pay your money, and you place them share side up, in next to your personal supply. So this player currently has 5 shares, and so when fish are being passed around, the white player will put a fish onto that share, and the yellow player will put fish onto his own shares. So if there were only 3 coming around, that's what it would look like, and then all of those fish obviously will come into your personal supply as described earlier. The next 3 spots down are talking about the forest. The forest is this area on your player board. So firstly, deforest. To deforest, you take one of the cards. It can be this one, notice the pile of 2, or it could be this one. When you take that away, you will gain 5 wood into your personal supply. Now notice that your personal supply has a maximum of 12 wood that it can hold. The reserve can hold 8 fish maximum. Your personal supply can hold 12 wood maximum. Anything over those maximums would need to go back into the general supply. The next spot down, thin out, is where you take 1 wood for every forest on your board. So this board currently has 3 forests on it. So you'll take 3 wood for using that space. And the third one down is reforest. To reforest, you'll take 2 forest tiles and place them over one of the spaces. Theoretically, you could place forests there if you so wished. However, you wouldn't be able to place any more forest on this row. With it placed on one side, any future forest that comes in is still got space to go in. There's 2 more spots to deal with. Build a ship. Building a ship is taking one of these 3 ships and paying what is required. So in this case, we're paying 2 wood and 2 fish to build one of these small ships or sloops. The fish to pay for that sloop can only come out of your personal supply. Pay the 2 fish, 2 wood, and that gets placed in the leftmost spot. So now when this player goes fishing, they will gain 5 fish instead of just the 3. And the final action you can take is to take an elder. That's one of these guys that's available. They will not get replaced through the game, so once they're gone, they're gone. However, in a 2-player game, the first stack has 2. In more player games, there's stacks of 2 further into the piles. When you take an elder, it goes into the leftmost space on this board, the elder board, or the elder council. As soon as you put him into the elder council, you will enact whatever the bonus is or benefit is from that elder. So in this case, that's remove 2 forests and gain 5 wood and 1 gold. So he'll take those 2 forests away, take 5 wood, assuming he can fit them into his personal supply, and take his 1 gold. Then in a future turn, if you wish to take that action again, you use the elder card as a worker placement spot. You will feed him 1 fish from the banquet, and then you will enact that card again. Now notice there are 3 pictures of fish along the top. What that means is, I've just fed him once from the banquet. At the beginning of the next turn, when I'm handing fish around, the first place that a fish goes will be onto an elder card, so that goes a second one. And when the 3rd fish comes onto his card, all of them are removed. 1 of those fish goes back into the personal supply, and the other 2 go to the general supply as being eaten. Once everyone has used all 3 of their workers, and you only do get 3 workers in each round. Once they've all been placed, you pick up your workers and bring them back. We then move the ship onto the next spot in the turn order, and the player who has that turn number, which is turn number 2, this player, will then be the first player. Notice that some of the spaces on the turn order have some writing on it. That is talking about this set of cards, more buildings. So when we get up to turn 4, in this case, each player will get 4 of these cards. That's private cards that they will be able to build into their own tableau that no one else is able to build. Until we get up to turn 6, at which point any cards that are left become extra buildings available when you do the build action, and they're available for anyone. All of those cards in the C pile that come out late are going to give endgame bonus points. We carry on that way for 7 rounds. At the end of the 7th round, we go to a final scoring, at which point everyone counts up all of the numbers they have that are sitting above the stars. Plus, each gold is worth 1 point also. That's it. I think I've managed to cover all of the rules for Nusfjord. I hope this helps you get Nusfjord to the table. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you wish to be gamesplaned, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at thegamesplainer to see what games I've been playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining, and until next time, enjoy gaming.